Week 1 of the NFL came and went, and depending on how your team did, some of you are rejoicing in the promise of a new season, while others are sounding the alarm bells. So I've put together a tier list of how you should logically feel about your team this year, and in no way is it an overreaction to week 1. Now that I look at these tiers, maybe there is a little overreaction, but nonetheless, we're going to start at the bottom with the not this year tier. Essentially, these teams aren't going to the playoffs. Basically, this season is seeing what you got to build to the future. You're looking forward to the offseason, and we know that is the New Orleans Saints. They're probably the favorite to be the first overall pick in the NFL draft. Maybe you're drafting a quarterback. I don't know. Spencer Rattler looked all right, but you drafted Tyler Shough in the second. I'm sure we're going to see him at some point this year, but let's see what you got in some of these young players and Fuaga and Kool-Aid McKinstry and such. And then right after them, it's the Cleveland Browns. You almost beat the Bengals. Good for you. The defense is good. The offensive line is going to be a total overhaul next season. You know Joe Flacco ain't the guy. And if you're going to be drafting high, then it's probably not Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. But you don't know. That's why you're going to be watching. You're going to be watching when Shedeur gets that first start to see how he does. And then right in front of them, it's got to be the New York Giants. This team's not going to be serious until Jackson Dart gets his first start. That's just the case. That's just the truth. The defense is good. Hopefully the offensive line gets healthy. You got Andrew Thomas coming back. Malik Neighbors ain't happy. You got Mr. Unlimited at quarterback, so there's going to be no excitement basically from this offense all year long. Maybe Cam Scatterboo, actually. Maybe Cam. Now, I only have one other team in this tier, and of course, it's the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward, I thought he had a really promising start. The penalties sucked. The drops sucked. But you kind of knew we weren't going into it you were hoping to be competitive this year, but let's be honest, rookie quarterback, you're looking to the future. Now, the next tier it's a bit hot, it's a bit flamboyant, and it will be a bit of an overreaction. I call it the 2026 QB market, maybe. And it's going to be headlined by the Carolina Panthers. Listen, Bryce Young, is he the guy or is he not the guy? You're going into his third season. If he doesn't show you anything, okay, we're drafting in the top 10. We're taking a new quarterback. Canales is going to have to hitch his horse to a different wagon. Because right now, the Bryce Young wagon is too small. Too small. Not making enough throws. Now, I know Panthers fans, I just belittled your quarterback, but don't worry, I'm going to belittle another Alabama quarterback in the Miami Dolphins. I am a Dolphins fan. What a terrible opener. I think the Dolphins had by far the worst season opener of any team. The offense looked terrible. The defense, you already knew it was, given the secondary, it wasn't going to go great. Indiana Jones, formerly the quarterback known as Danny Dimes, passed all over us. It didn't feel great. It feels like we're going to potentially blow up everything. Tyreek Hill, he's out there still doing domestic violence. Kind of a piece of crap. I think we're going to get rid of a lot of these large contracts. I think the coaching staff's gone. Golly, I hope the GM's gone. Never been a Greer fan. Just never have. Tua, he would leave us with a lot of dead cap. But I'm starting to get the feeling he's not the guy for us. I only have one other team in this tier. And it's the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold, are you seeing ghost? Oh no, I don't know. He could turn it around. It wasn't a catastrophic start, but the offense didn't really offer much. The defense, hey, there was some fun stuff with the defense. They kept it competitive, but I don't think Sam Darnold is going to be the guy to start this offense. You're going to kind of want an elite quarterback. Maybe we see Jalen Milroe later in the year, but maybe they're in the market for a quarterback when 2026 comes around. We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics, and it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged. This next tier is hilarious. Am I excited? Am I excited? Is my team good? Are they going to be competitive? Sure, we have some fun players on the team, but are we something? And I'm going to put the New England Patriots in this tier. Listen, I think the offensive line is still a work in progress. Obviously, the pass catchers are a work in progress. Drake May, I think he's going to take some steps this year, but it's going to be limited to what the offensive line and what the pass catchers can do. That defense looks hella fun. Mike Vrabel, hella fun. But am I excited? Is this offense going to make me excited? I don't know that it is. I just don't. Arizona Cardinals. Oh, you were kind of hoping for a bigger win than what you did to the New Orleans Saints. Is the offense good? It comes and it goes. Kyler Murray, are you a top quarterback? Are you? You should have smashed the Saints. I think the defense, they got some young playmakers there. I think there's some excitement to be had. Shoot, Jordan Birch off the edge. He was getting after it. There's excitement to be had on the defense. The offense, there's enough star power to where it's like, why not more? Why not? Now, there is only one other tier in this, or team in this tier, and it's the Indianapolis Colts. I'm sorry, I've never been a Daniel Jones truther, Indiana Jones truther, but he looked good. Is he having his Baker Mayfield arc right now? Sign a 1-year deal? Prove it deal? He proves it? He gets extended? Maybe. Defensively, listen, I think the Dolphins made that defense look a little bit better than it actually is. This is Coach Lou's first year. He's still assembling his defense. I think worse days are ahead. But I think there's some reason to be excited. I just don't know how long that excitement will last. I don't know, maybe use Viagra. Before we get back to today's video, I gotta talk about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. If you download the app and sign up using promo code Broshmo, they match that first deposit up to $1,000 dues. Now with the football season back, they have promos each and every day. It's the best place to play weekly best ball, or my favorite, higher or lower on player stats. If you want to get in on the fun, get in on the action, then download the app. Sign up using promo code Broshmo. You can thank me later, but as always, play responsibly and play within your means. Next here is I am excited. Listen, these teams might not make the playoffs, but there's enough happening to where I think it's going to be one hell of a time. We're going to buckle in. It's going to be fun. And at the bottom of this tier is the New York Jets. Justin Fields in that offense, it looked fun. Was it perfect? No, but they put up a lot of points. Fields looked good. I think there's promise. I really do. The defense, I think, is going to get better as the year goes on because they got some stars on that squad. I'm excited if I'm the Jets. And I'm saying this as a Dolphins fan. Ugh. Right ahead of them is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence could have looked better, but Travis Hunter makes this team fun. I think the defense is good. And Travis Etienne, he's back. He's back. I know it was just the Carolina Panthers, but still, he's back. Brian Thomas, he only had one reception. And they came out and they just handedly defeated the Panthers. I'm excited. And it's Liam Cohen. Things should, in theory, click with him and Trevor Lawrence. And I think that's reason to be excited. Right after that, we got the Atlanta Falcons. I know it was a tough loss, but golly, Michael Penix. What a gamer, dude. What a gamer. There was the fourth down run that, was he out? Was he down? You had, I think, offset and penalties, and then the touchdown. That was exciting. How did his legs not touch the ground? It's insane. Drake May, I hope you're healthy. I have you on a few fantasy teams. The defense, I think, will grow as the year goes on, especially with some of those young pass rushers. These will click a little bit later. And you lost in a close one to a very good Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I'm not mad at it. Las Vegas Raiders, we're excited. Good win against the Patriots. Geno looked good. You had guys that weren't named Brock Bowers stepping up. Jacoby Myers and Thornton had a nice deep shot. Ashton Genty is going to be fun all year. The defensive line, oh my gosh, they played so much better than I anticipated. Also, the Patriots offensive line is not great. So I don't know if we're going to get that week in, week out, but I think if you're a Raiders fan, you're going to have fun. They're always competitive. They just are. Doesn't matter who's the coach or who's on the team. They're relatively competitive, at least in division. One last team is in this tier, and they took a bittersweet L. It's the Chicago Bears. And I know some people will be like, golly, after giving up that lead, the second half was terrible. What is there to be excited about? That first half, I think, is enough to get me excited. Ben Johnson's in his first year. Him and I think Caleb will have time to acclimate themselves to one another. Caleb showed in that first half why he was a first overall pick. Now, if we could get that through the duration of a game, I think there's reason to be excited. Keep in mind, that cornerback room was missing Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson. That kind of matters. Better days are ahead, I think, for the Bears. Offensive line, Jonah Jackson, didn't look great. Now, some of y'all will look at the tier ahead of this. Potentially fraudulent. Well, that sounds worse than I am excited. Not necessarily. Potentially fraudulent. It means that there's enough legitimacy there for me to question it. I think this is a team that can make the playoffs. I don't know if they could win a game in the playoffs. But there's enough questions to be asked that I'm like, are y'all just frauds? I think y'all might just be frauds. Or you can be really fun this year. So the potentially fraudulent, it's one of two extremes. I actually have quite a few teams in this tier. Let's start off with the Dallas Cowboys. Dak looked great. Didn't really produce much. CeeDee Lamb, 4 drops. I'm sure that won't happen at all again later this year. The defense stepped up, but I don't have faith that defense is going to be able to consistently stop the run. But this stepped up. There's enough there to where I'm like, okay, this team's going to be competitive. They battled out, went head to head with the Super Bowl champion Eagles and had a close game. As long as Dak is healthy, Javonte Williams played really well. The offensive line looked good. There's enough there, but I could definitely see the Cowboys. I could see things going south. I could definitely see it. Cincinnati Bengals. Defense played better than anticipated. They were also playing the Browns. Joe Burrow still doesn't have an offensive line after a very good start. That second half, the Bengals look like look like what they normally do in a season opener. I don't think the defense is going to be good on the consistent basis. I just don't. Offense will be better on the consistent basis. Will that be enough for a playoff run? It should be. The Bengals are a very good squad, at least offensively. I don't know if that'll be enough to get into the playoffs. We've kind of been, and I know part of that last couple of years, Joe Burrow not being healthy, so it's kind of cost him the playoffs last year. But I don't know. I'm not in on the Bengals just quite yet, and Joe Burrow might be my favorite quarterback in the league. This is going to be a hot take. The Minnesota Vikings might be like, what after that phenomenal comeback? Yeah, JJ McCarthy. Are you Are we going to see more first half JJ McCarthy this year, or are we going to see more second half where he was an absolute gamer? That defense is going to be great all year. It is. But if we do see a few games where JJ McCarthy is what he was in the first half, deer in the headlights, then yeah, I don't have faith this team's going to win a playoff game. Let's just say I think having him here, because there's enough. Listen, I love Kevin O'Connell. I'm intrigued what's going to happen. But they could potentially be fraudulent. I'm just saying it. That was a hell of a fun game, though. Right ahead of them is the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix, what the hell happened? Hopefully that was just, hey, it's a season opener. Let me get into stride. Things will click with the offense. Don't worry about it. We still got a phenomenal defense. But if that Bo Nix that's the Bo Nix we're going to see for much of the year. That's a team that could make the playoffs. They're not going to win a playoff game. Just saying. We'll see. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, they're potentially fraudulent. Arthur Smith is the OC. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers throwing 4 touchdown passes. Hell yeah. Can he stay healthy all year? Can he keep that up all year? I don't know, man. I'm just sitting here ready to be not hurt, but I'm just ready to see this team go back to just being mid as hell. That's been Mike Tomlin. Mid Tomlin. This team has been mid as hell. Are they anything more than that? I don't know if I have faith in them. But great showing week 1. Great showing. It's got to be the Houston Texans next. Listen, that offensive line is not good right now. And it's really limited what this offense can do. And it's unfortunate and it sucks. They had a few things not go their way against the Rams. They had the Jaden Higgins. Oh, that's a sick catch. Oh, wait. Kobe Durant picked it off. What the hell happened there? But the offensive line was a detriment. This team's not going to be able to win games if they can only put up 9 points. That's just the case. Derek Stingley I know he got banged up. Did he return to that game? Suffered a hip injury. Has not been confirmed yet. Blah, blah, blah. Blah. Haven't seen news on that. Hopefully Derek Stingley is healthy, but that's a really good defense. The Rams were moving the ball well, and they ended up only putting up, 14 points? The offense has to be better. The offensive line needs to be better. This is a fraudulent team. And then I have one more team that is legitimately, I think this, outside of the Steelers, and maybe the Vikings, because again, the Vikings, which JJ McCarthy are we going to get on the consistent basis? I think the San Francisco 49ers, this is their tier. Absolutely. This is a team that could make it to the NFC Championship. Straight up. Are they going to be healthy enough? Freaking Kittle, he's on IR, hamstring injury. You already have a ton of other injuries. You had the calf injury, the CMC scare. Brock Purdy, he's hurt. He's banged up. The only thing holding this team back right now, because I think that defense is young and they played actually, I think, reasonably well against the Seahawks. The only thing holding this team back is injuries. That's why I have them here as potentially fraudulent. Let's talk about teams that can win an actual playoff game. Let's do it. It's the Rams. Stafford, old man Stafford. Oh, what? My back was a problem during the offseason? Not in this game. He actually had a couple of big time throws. I think he led every quarterback this week with 5 big time throws. Good on you. The tackle position needs to be better. I think it will. Texans got kind of a fierce pass rush duo. The defense is going to be hella fun this year. I'm telling y'all, Jared Verse, he's going to break out. He's going to be an elite pass rusher this season. I have faith that this team could win a playoff game. And we saw them have a little bit of a run kind of in the playoffs last year. Right ahead of them, we're going to go with the Washington Commanders. You beat up on the Giants. It is what it is. But Jaden Daniels, I think we're probably talking about him as a top 5 quarterback at the end of the year. If not, he'll be close. He'll be top 5, top 7. Hey, Bill Krosky Merritt. Hell yeah. Love that. I love that. I picked him up in a lot of my dynasty leagues, and I'm feeling great about it. I still think the defense could be a liability. I think a very impotent Giants offense helped out with making the Commanders defense look really good. I get it. Dan Quinn's a defensive-minded coach, but still, I think more times than not, this defense is going to end up hitting above their weight class. Right ahead of the Commanders is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This isn't a healthy team right now. They had some sort of mishmash of an offensive line, and they got it done. Mecca Ibuka looked great. Chris Godwin will be coming back. Tristan Wirfs will be coming back. The defense had some guys step up. The pass rush was nice. Hassan Reddick looked really good. I think this is one of the best teams in the NFC. One of the better teams in the NFC. Let's go with that. It's really close between them and the Commanders for me. And you could even throw the Rams out there as well. Next here is the Detroit Lions. You might see them trickle down power rankings as the year goes on. The offensive line looks like it could be a problem, specifically on the interior. If they can't run the football, who is this team? Frank Ragnow, we miss you. Come back, Frank. Come back, Ben. You're going to hear this whole Dan Campbell's a fraud. He was merely the product of Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. No, and those were handpicked guys by Dan Campbell. He's a hell of a good football coach. Better weeks lay ahead for the Detroit Lions. At least that's what I'm willing to believe. I do have one more team in this tier. It's gonna be the Los Angeles Chargers. Listen, there's still gonna be this narrative, Charger gonna Charger, but golly, the offense looked really good. The defense, I was impressed with. I still think the pass rush they don't have the guys. They don't have the horses, I think, to consistently get after it. But golly, the offense. Quentin Johnston, I missed you. Thank you for coming back. Keenan Allen. Oh, the Chargers missed you. Thank you for coming back. Justin Herbert looked phenomenal. Is he finally going to establish himself as an elite quarterback? We'll find out this year. I believe in Jim Harbaugh and this Chargers team. Now let's talk legit Super Bowl championship contenders. And at the back of this list, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh my gosh, the Chiefs, they didn't even look that good in their loss, and this team didn't score 30 points in regulation last season, in the regular season. Like, okay, boo the heck who. Until the Chiefs just keep going to the championship game. I'm sorry, they just do. I'm not going to bet against the Chiefs. I need an AFC team to step up and prove the Chiefs otherwise. And the regular season just doesn't matter to the Chiefs until it does. I think during the Andy Reid era, what was let's take a look. Chiefs record year by year. All right. So here's the record year by year. The last time they won less than 10 games, it was 11 years ago, 2014. They will go 9-7. They've only had one 10-win season since then, 2017. Basically, they have been anywhere between an 11 to 14 win team. I'm not betting against the Chiefs. I'm just not. And you shouldn't either. The regular season just doesn't matter to these guys. Right ahead of the Chiefs, I'm gonna have the new look Green Bay Packers. That was a very impressive win. It was at home, but Micah Parsons looked great. I mean, you had a legit superstar. I did these power rankings, right? Preseason, 100% honest. First thing I said about the Packers, can this defense get an all-star? The very next day, they trade for Micah Parsons. What timing? What timing? I'm buying into the Packers. I'm buying in. Right ahead of the Packers. I'm Baltimore Ravens. Stop joking. Oh my gosh. Does someone know CPR? Someone know the Heimlich maneuver? These Ravens keep choking. They're going to have a good regular season. They need to prove it in the playoffs. Likewise, I'm going to have the Buffalo Bills, the team that beat the Baltimore Ravens in a classic there Sunday night. Josh Allen, you could argue Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are the best two quarterbacks in the NFL outside of playoff Mahomes. I think these are probably your front runners for MVP. They both looked extremely good. They're just fun to watch. I think going into the year, I had the Bills as my favorite to come out of the AFC and go to the Super Bowl. And I'm sticking by it. And then, of course, you got the Philadelphia Eagles, your reigning champs. They're champs until they say that they're not, right? I'm going to have them here until they actually take a significant L. Were there some worries? Were there some concerns? Sure. They go out against Darius Smith. Guess they're not too confident in the pass rush. I think it's you look at that corner 2 position because you got DeJean in the slot, Quinion outside, and I mean they had Adoree Jackson starting out there. He gave up over 100 receiving yards. Not great, but this is still the offense. It was just kind of rinse and repeat. Okay, we may have lost Kellen Moore, but we are in good hands. Defensively, I think better days will be had. It was the season opener, and they kind of locked it in. Keep in mind, they were missing Jalen Carter, maybe their best player on the defense. They were missing him after he spit on Dak Prescott. So let's reel back. If you have any criticisms about the Eagles, let's get a larger sample size. But they're one of the best teams in the league. But there it is. There are my power rankings. You let me know. I said power rankings. Oh, my tiers. And I think for the most part, if you disagree with any of them, please let me know. I think this is relatively accurate. This is truthfully how I feel about some of these squads. Sure, there's a few overreactions. Maybe that whole maybe in the QB market tier. Yeah, that's a bit of an overreaction. We could go another week and be like, okay, all 3 of those teams are out of that tier. But hey, that was the point of the video. A little bit of overreaction. We decided to have some fun with it, but there was a little truth nugget with every entry. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. And as always, till next time, be easy, my friends. Later.